Imagine a world where by the age of 30, you've conquered lands beyond the reach of any before you. This was the world of Alexander the Great. Born into a royal lineage in the city of Pella, Alexander was destined for greatness. From an early age he displayed an eagerness to learn and a hunger for glory, traits that were honed under the tutelage of none other than the great philosopher Aristotle. His education wasn't confined to philosophy and the arts. He was trained in the art of war, a skill that would serve him well in the years to come. But his life took a dramatic turn when his father, King Philip II, was assassinated. The throne of Macedonia was thrust upon him, and at the tender age of 20, he became a king. A promising young king, Alexander was poised to embark on a conquest that would change the world. With the throne secured, Alexander set his sights on a formidable enemy, the Persian Empire. His ambition was not just to defeat Persia, but to conquer it entirely. A task that was seemingly insurmountable, yet to Alexander, it was the next logical step in his vision of a united world under his rule. In 334 BC, the young king led his forces across the Hellespont, a narrow strait in the northwestern part of modern-day Turkey. This was the first of many bold moves. Alexander was stepping into Asia Minor, the heartland of the Persian Empire, with a force that was significantly outnumbered. Despite the odds, Alexander's strategic brilliance began to shine through. His first major victory came at the Battle of Granicus, where he faced a formidable Persian force. Alexander, however, turned the tide of the battle with a daring cavalry charge. This victory opened the path deeper into Persian territory. Next came the siege of Halicarnassus. Alexander's forces faced a fortified city, well stocked with supplies and guarded by a massive Persian army. But Alexander, ever the strategic genius, used a combination of feints, diversionary tactics, and direct assaults to successfully capture the city. The Battle of Issus was another significant milestone in Alexander's campaign. Here, he was vastly outnumbered, yet his tactical brilliance led to a decisive victory. Alexander's forces cleverly used the narrow battlefield to their advantage, neutralizing the numerical superiority of the Persian forces. These victories were just the beginning. They showcased Alexander's ability to think strategically, to adapt to the terrain, and to use the enemy's strengths against them. His audacity, coupled with his military genius, was reshaping the map of the ancient world. Undeterred by the mighty Persian Empire, Alexander's ambition only grew, setting the stage for battles that would echo through history. Alexander's military genius shone brightest on the battlefield. From Issus to Gaugamela, his strategies were unprecedented. Let's delve into the Battle of Issus, where Alexander's forces were heavily outnumbered. The Persian king Darius assembled a massive army, believed to be in the hundreds of thousands. However, Alexander, with his astute mind, took advantage of the narrow battlefield, sandwiched between the mountains and the sea. This limited the Persians' mobility and negated their numerical advantage. Alexander's use of the phalanx, a tight infantry formation, proved pivotal. His forces held the line, creating an opportunity for Alexander and his companion cavalry to launch a decisive charge against Darius, forcing him to flee and leaving his army in disarray. Next, we move to the siege of Tyre, a testament to Alexander's perseverance and ingenuity. Tyre, a fortified island city, seemed impregnable. Undeterred, Alexander orchestrated a bold plan to construct a causeway, essentially building a land bridge to the island. Despite facing fierce resistance, the Macedonians eventually breached the city walls. This victory significantly boosted the morale of Alexander's troops and sent a clear message to other resisting cities. Resistance was futile. Our final stop is the Battle of Gaugamela, where Alexander faced Darius for the second time. Despite being outnumbered again, Alexander employed a daring strategy. He shifted his forces to the right, drawing the Persians out of their solid line formation. Spotting a gap, Alexander led a cavalry charge straight at Darius. The Persian king once again fled the battlefield. This victory marked the end of the Persian Empire and the beginning of Alexander's reign over its vast territories. But the battles are only half the story. Alexander's leadership qualities were equally important. He led from the front, sharing the same hardships as his men and often risking his life in battle. This courage and camaraderie inspired a deep loyalty among his troops. They believed in him, in his vision of a Hellenistic world stretching from Greece to the far reaches of Asia. Alexander was also a master of psychological warfare. He understood the value of symbolism and spectacle. For instance, after defeating Darius, he adopted Persian royal customs, not to assimilate, but to demonstrate that he was now the king of Asia. This symbolic act disheartened Persian resistance and eased the transition of power. Through his tactical genius and charisma, Alexander carved an empire out of the Persian lands, but his vision extended far beyond mere conquest. Beyond the battlefield, Alexander sought to meld cultures, fostering an era of enlightenment that would resonate for centuries. Remembered not only as a conqueror but also as a cultural visionary, Alexander's empire spanned 3 continents at its zenith, reaching from the azure Aegean Sea to the fertile banks of the Indus River. In his wake, Alexander left a mosaic of cultures intertwined. He encouraged marriages between his Greek soldiers and local women, fostering a fusion of customs, languages, and ideas. This integration was not just a byproduct of his conquests, but a deliberate strategy. Alexander believed in the power of cultural exchange as a means to consolidate his vast empire, a testament to his foresight and wisdom. His most significant contribution to the cultural landscape was arguably the spread of Hellenistic culture. Under his rule, Greek ideas, art, and philosophy permeated far beyond their homeland, influencing societies across his vast dominions. This diffusion of Hellenistic culture triggered a period of intellectual and artistic flourishing, known as the Hellenistic Age, which left an indelible mark on the civilizations that followed. Among the many cities he founded, Alexandria in Egypt stood out as a beacon of this cultural synthesis. Named after Alexander himself, Alexandria was envisioned as a hub of knowledge and learning. It was home to the Great Library of Alexandria, an intellectual powerhouse of the ancient world, and the famous lighthouse, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. This city became the epitome of Hellenistic culture, a melting pot where Greek and Egyptian customs, ideas, and knowledge merged and thrived. But even the greatest of empires can't escape the sands of time. Alexander's sudden death left a power vacuum that would lead to his empire's fragmentation. Yet, the cultural impact of his reign, the fusion of East and West, and the spread of Hellenistic culture would ripple through the ages, marking Alexander as one of history's most influential figures. In death as in life, Alexander made waves. His empire fragmented, but his influence was indelible. Upon his untimely death at just 32, Alexander left behind an empire that stretched from Greece to Egypt and as far east as India. But with no clear successor to his throne, the empire was left to his generals, igniting a power struggle that would lead to its eventual fragmentation. The division, however, was just a mere ripple in the vast ocean of Alexander's impact. His true legacy lay not in the lands he conquered, but in the cultural fusion he inspired. He introduced Greek thought, art, and language to the East, forever changing the course of history. This Hellenistic culture, as it came to be known, became the bedrock of the Western civilization we know today. In the East, his influence was no less profound. His efforts to integrate Greek and Eastern cultures paved the way for the rise of the Greco-Buddhist art, a fusion of Greek and Indian artistic influence. Even today, traces of Alexander's impact can be found in the diverse cultures of the regions he once conquered. Alexander's legacy is a testament to the power of ambition, vision, and unwavering determination. His influence transcended his short life, and continues to reverberate through the annals of history, reminding us that the true measure of greatness lies not in what we conquer, but in what we leave behind. Alexander the Great, a name synonymous with conquest and cultural fusion, left an indelible mark on history. The breadth of his empire, his strategic genius, and his vision of a blended culture are testaments to his remarkable leadership. His story, a tale of ambition and achievement, continues to inspire and intrigue us. But how does the legacy of such a figure shape our understanding of power and leadership? That, dear viewer, is a question for you to ponder.